We were recently introduced to 3 new Pokemon in the second trailer for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, so let's try to predict what they might evolve into. Hey everyone, Brandon here. So in the recent trailer, we were introduced to Pawmi, Lechonk, and Smolive. I absolutely adore Smolive, and Lechonk's name is just genius. Pawmi is really not my favorite. For some reason, it just doesn't feel like a Pika clone to me. Regardless of my opinions, I can guarantee at least Smolive and Lechonk will evolve. But I have a feeling that Pawmi might evolve as well. Something about it just feels incomplete. So in this video, I'm going to talk about some possible evolutions we could see for these newly introduced Pokemon. So let's start off with the absolutely adorable Smolive. I am seriously in love with this design. It is so simple, but I love that about it. I heard someone say it reminds them of a level 1 mob from a JRPG or something, and I absolutely adore that idea. Anyway, Smolive is clearly inspired by olives, duh, and olive oil. In my previous Pokemon prediction video, I predicted we would get an olive/olive oil Pokemon, and an Iberian pig Pokemon, might I add. Very proud that I managed to predict 2 Pokemon that we got in the same video. Check that video out to see if I might get some more Pokemon right. Anyway, in that video, I talked about how an olive or olive oil Pokemon would be a must, given that Spain is the biggest distributor of olive oil in the world. According to the Pokemon website, Smolive has oil that it keeps in the smaller olive on its head that it can shoot at opponents to slow them down so it can run away, and that it prefers dry, warm climates and enjoys sunbathing. With these details, and past generations of Pokemon in mind, I'm definitely thinking we could go in one of 2 directions with this evolution line. The first is the grass waifu trope. Pokemon like Bounsweet or Badoo, 3-stage mons that start with a particularly bulbous body and cute face, then evolve into a more feminine plant-human hybrid. Examples of this for Smolive would be middle stages like Tiny by Pokétor and Fuliv by Kaifek Manasar. These both definitely have that kind of cutesy middle stage vibe with the olives acting as hair buns. Another very fun example of a waifu evolution for Smolive is Olivina by Ventus the Floof. It is an olive cocktail waitress. I find this concept incredibly clever, given that Spanish olives are pretty synonymous with martinis. The dress and pose are meant to resemble glass containers of olive oil. Ventus told me they imagined Olivina to not just look like a waitress, but act like one too, being able to dispense olive oil from its hands when it uncurls them, helping chefs and patrons alike. The other direction I think we could go is more in the vein of Pokemon like Sunflora, Eldegoss, or Amoonguss, where the evolution is just the plant later in its life cycle, or an even bigger version of the plant. A good example of this for Smolive is Olive Oil by Pokétor. This concept pulls together Smolive's olive oil inspiration, the goofiness of Sunflora, and the whole plant later in its life cycle kind of evolution. There is one more kind of oddball pick for an evolution I wanted to talk about as well, where Smolive goes the Magneton, Wheezing, Dugtrio route and just multiplies itself upon evolution, like Miniento by LucasArt. This refers to pimento-stuffed manzanilla olives. Manzanilla olives are also known as Spanish olives, so this concept could work. I also think it is funny because it also looks like Miniento has little Fuecoco tails coming out of it. If I had to say which kind of evolution I'm hoping for, I would probably say the waifu trope. I just think concepts like Tiny are super cute and would love to see something like it in Scarlet and Violet. As far as typings go, given the fact that Smolive started off with a dual typing, I think it will most likely keep it throughout its evolution line. I don't see why it wouldn't. Grass normal just feels a little bit too specific. If you've made it this far into the video, chances are you'll probably enjoy the rest of the content on this channel, so make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to keep up to date with future videos. Next, let's talk about the Pokemon that took over the internet, Lechonk. Seriously though, the amount of memes and fan art I've seen come from Lechonk's announcement is by far the biggest reaction I have seen to any Pokemon ever. And that's saying something considering the legends of Scarlet and Violet were in the very same trailer. Anyway, memes aside, Lechonk is clearly based on the Iberian pig, given its black coloration, but also based on a truffle hog. The Pokemon website states that Lechonk uses its sense of smell to find and eat only the most fragrant wild grasses and richest berries. As a result of its dining habits, it has come to radiate an aroma resembling herbs that bug Pokemon dislike, which clearly refers to the truffle hogs and their ability to find truffles hidden deep underground with their keen sense of smell, but also refers to the Jamon Iberico, the meat product from Iberian pigs, that is highly prized because of the Iberian pig's special diet of grass, mushrooms, bugs, herbs, and special acorns that it eats during the autumn and winter months. On top of that info, Lechonk is the hog Pokemon, so the truffle hog inspiration is pretty blatant. But there's another part of the website that I found particularly interesting. It says that the Pokemon's body is mostly muscle built by constantly walking around in search of food. So I could see Lechonk evolving with one of two type combinations. Firstly, it could evolve into a normal ground type, given the fact that truffle hogs dig in the dirt to find truffles, but also that pigs and mud are incredibly synonymous with each other. Like peanut butter and jelly, or my comment section and asking me to do a certain Pokemon of every type. The other type combo I could see is normal fighting, given that Lechonk's body is mostly muscle. A really great example of a Lechonk evolution is Champork by Bromo Jumbo. It plays into Lechonk's muscly side while also referring to mud wrestlers. It could really work for either type combination. It could be normal ground type and learn fighting type moves, or vice versa. I would absolutely love if Lechonk went this direction, and it would probably be one of my new favorite Pokemon. Another direction I think we could go is leaning into the Hamon Iberico inspiration, and also its name of Lechonk, which contains lechon, which is Spanish for suckling pig, a dish that is typically the entire piglet spit roasted. An example of this would be this Lechonk Evo done by Kaifik-R. It has the spit as its tail, and even a little X on its side, which is a reference to how sometimes the skin of the pig will be cut before roasting. Maybe it could even be a normal fire type? But honestly, I think we're most likely gonna get a normal ground type. For the reasons I stated before, but also because of Lechonk's coloration. I mean, black and brown are the main colors. You can't get much more obvious than brown as a sign of the ground type. Last but definitely least is Pawmi. I'm just playing. I don't really hate Pawmi's design. Like I said, something about it just feels incomplete. I actually did point out on my Twitter that Pawmi is the only Pika clone that doesn't have its cheek pouches outlined, so that is one small difference. Also, am I the only one that thinks Pawmi looks way too much like an electric fire type for it to not actually be one? But I think the real reason Pawmi feels incomplete is because it might evolve. I honestly believe we might break from tradition here and have a Pika clone actually evolve. I mean, why else would they show it off alongside two other Pokemon that are clearly going to evolve as well? And it is a Pokemon your rival uses. And typically, as you continue your journey and have more battles with your rival, their Pokemon evolve, right? In this battle that was shown in the trailer, Nemona says it's your first, so why would she have a Pawmi so early on in the game? Just something to think on there. A great example of a Pawmi evolution is Gorami by Arnow555. I am so absolutely head over heels for this design. It brings in the inspiration of Raichu's beta evolution, Gorochu, which was ultimately cut, obviously. Pokemon does have a history of bringing back old beta designs for Pokemon in later generations, and it would just be fantastic if they brought back Gorochu in this way. Pokemon fans all pretty unanimously loved Gorochu when it was uncovered, so I think this would be a really smart decision by Game Freak if they did something like this. Anyway, those are my thoughts on what I think we might get for evolutions for these mons. Let me know what you think of them and which one was your favorite. If you liked the video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Also, make sure to follow me on Twitter. I'm trying to hit 1,000 followers by the end of the year, and we're almost there, so make sure to hit the link in the description. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and with that, I will see you guys next time.